This is the Parra Cave podcast, proudly brought to you by major sponsor Jack's Pale Ale, exclusively available at Parramatta Leagues Club, and co-sponsors Bo Cook from Loan Market, Scott from Brightside Detailing and Ceramics, Shannon Cooney from Glenmore Park Realty, BTZD Clothing, the official clothing partner of the Parra Cave podcast, and the official media partner of the Parra Cave podcast, the Parramatta Times.
Welcome to another episode of the Parra Cave podcast. And now over to your host, Troy Warner, broadcasting live from the world-famous Parra Cave.
Yes, g'day listeners. Welcome back to the Parra Cave podcast. Well, it's been a busy day today, Friday, game day. In the morning, the release of the Cast Patrol podcast with Age from the Cast Patrol, with his game day preview of the Parramatta Eels versus the South Sydney Rabbitohs. So if you haven't already, go back and have a listen to that one. Well, this one is the Talking Parra excerts from the Talking Parra podcast, a podcast that I'm involved in with the other Parramatta lads. So it's a podcast that we do each week. So these are just my parts of that podcast, but you can catch the whole episode and get the other guys' thoughts as well. It's available now on Apple and Spotify. Just search for the Talking Parra podcast. Subscribe as well, so every week when it is out, you will be able to get that one as well. So these are just my parts, but the full episode is out now, so go and check that one out as well. And as if you haven't already, check out the interview with Shane Musprat as well. So episode 166, a great chat with a former Eels and Cowboys rugby league player. So check that one out. But anyway, this is just a short and sharp one. Hope you enjoy it. As I said, follow the Talking Parra podcast and you'll be able to hear the whole chat, the whole lads' stories and chats and about Parramatta, the game before and the game coming up each week. So check that one out and thank you very much for listening.
Started to talk about our season and where it was heading and if it was kind of going nowhere. So I'm going to fly straight over to you, Troy, straight away.
Straight away?
You had a different opinion last week. Is it panic stations?
No, it's not panic stations. Yeah, well, that's a good one.
There, Troy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, obviously.
Go on, tell us why it's not panic stations, and I'll tell you why it is.
Okay, well, it's not panic stations because there's still plenty of time in this competition to earn points and make the finals. We still haven't had any buys yet, so technically we're on 10 points instead of 8. And also to think about a couple of scenarios. So last year the Canberra Raiders, they were 2 and 7. They made the 8. Think about Parramatta themselves, 2009. Now, that was a bit of a freakish season. Obviously, we all know what happened in that year with the football that was played. But we were, 13th, 14th in that competition at that time and ended up making the 8 and then ended up making the grand final. If we've lost, the games that we've lost, we haven't lost by more than 10 points. So we've been in every single game. We get a good win this weekend, or against another big team, or even a few other sides as well. We get 1, 2, 3 wins, then we'll slowly climb up that ladder, and it will also give them confidence. And hopefully a bit of spark, and that should hopefully continue on for the rest of the year.
Much covered it, so
look, just quickly. There is a few other points that I told you guys in the group chat that there are some other factors that have come into play this year. So obviously we all know about the draw that we've had. playing those three teams off buys. No other team has done that, I don't think. That's still no excuse, but it is still a factor. We've had, obviously, the players leave. What else have we had? One thing that I did mention in the group chat as well, it's probably not a major factor, but two of our star players have had children in the last year as well. First-time fathers as well. Look, I know it's not a major factor, but there's still that little bit of factor there. We've had, obviously, the Ryan Madison suspension at the start of the year. We've had junior suspension as well. We've had injuries as well. So it's a completely different season to last year.
Troy, your thoughts?
Yeah, look, it all started off pretty well, didn't it? We had a great set of defence in the first set when Canberra had the ball. There was a few little highlights in there. Your mate Wiramu Greg did a great try-saving tackle, and then Laney got that intercept. Him going off was, even though he hadn't been playing the best of football this year, was probably a little bit difficult for us as well because he obviously couldn't come back. So that was a player down as well. Look, you mentioned their penalties as well. I know we can touch on it later, but the Jake Arthur penalty that Canberra then did score a try after that, I think. For me, he turned his back, planted his feet, and Whiten's run into him. The Bailey Simonson hip drop tackle, well, we're all still confused about hip drop tackles. So for the fact that he didn't get 10 minutes in the sin bin and then he didn't get charged for it, was pretty. It was a game changer as well because obviously he gave the penalty away and then Canberra were down the other end as well. So obviously our completion rates were way down, 68%. So you can't win football games without the ball. And yeah, I mean, having Mitchell Moses out for the game, we knew that was going to happen, obviously, but his kicking game was missed as well with the meterage that he could get with the ball through his kicks. So disappointing loss, but we move on to this week.
Just Bailey. I'll go to you first, Troy.
Yeah, look, Bailey was pretty good. Obviously tipped him for the first try, but he got, the second try, I think, for Parramatta. But, he was outstanding. But, yeah, Hopgood, congratulations to him. He got his first NRL try. Again, he's always competing, and his offloads and hit-ups as well. So, at times, he did look dangerous. At times, he probably shouldn't have tried an offload, but he's developing every week as well.
Yep. Troy, anything to add?
Yeah, look, it will be potentially a good signing. He's obviously an Origin player in the past. Maybe a change could be as good as a holiday. We have seen, as mentioned before, Isaiah Papali'i come over from the Warriors to Parramatta, and look at the last 2 seasons he had there. How much does he come for? How much do the Tigers chip in for his contract? Because apparently it's like 650,000 next year and the year after.
Yeah, I don't know. That's obviously something the clubs have got to discuss. But if they need to clear salary cap space, they're going to be paying something. And the rumour is they do need to clear salary cap space. So, Troy?
Yeah, look, it's going to be tough. Obviously, South Sydney, a bit of a bogey side for Parramatta. I think the last 6 games it's been 13 plus to South Sydney. Funny thing is both teams have scored 240 points for the season. The only difference is that South Sydney are on the top of the ladder is 90 points in defence. So obviously we've got the defensive issues, but ironically we've scored the same amount of points. So. But, look, it's going to be tough, that left-hand side of...
They've won games.
Sorry?
And they've won the games.
Yeah,
so got
because of their defence. But we have scored the same amount of points as them in this season so far. So, look, we just need to get off to that good start. We tried to get off to that good start last week and just hopefully roll on with that. As Hayden said, having Mitchell back is a massive advantage, but let's mix it up. Let's not always leave it to the last tackle to kick. Let's throw in high kicks, low kicks along the ground. As Joel said, run the troll around. Because get him tired. It's an origin audition as well for a lot of players as well, so they're going to want to perform. Just get off to that good start. Discipline has to be better, obviously. We don't want another 10 penalties. I think it's going to be tough, but it can be done.
I do across here. All right, Troy, what do you got?
Okay, well, Parramatta will win this game. Because apparently our season's on the line and we're at panic stations. Cue the button. No? Okay.
He's too busy writing.
Look, South have never lost an Indigenous round, so they're, I think, 7 in a row now, so records are meant to
be... Jew.
Yeah, records are meant to be broken, always remember that Adam Reynolds goal in, was it 2016 from the sideline? That was no good, that game. But 24-20 Parramatta. I'm going to say for South Sydney, Campbell Graham, first try scorer. For Parramatta, I'm going to stick with Bailey Simonson. And a bold prediction will be that Gutho will have 2 try assists and just, bounce back from his poor performance from last week.
I don't know if that's not bold enough for mine, because Gutho does that pretty regularly.
Well, he didn't last week. He didn't last.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Parra Cave Podcast. See you next time.